Red Rack here in Modern. It's definitely one of the more popular lists here, and because it was so popular, we thought we'd go ahead and run it one more time here in Modern. Well, perhaps not one last time, but definitely a few more times. It's a blast to play. It's featuring Kroxa. It is Modern, 8 rack with a spin of red. Here's the deck in front of you. If you enjoy this and would like to see more, don't forget liking and subscribing and comments below. Give me that insight into what you guys like to see here on the channel. So what does Red Rack do a little bit different than 8 rack? Well, it's got an extra color. In this case, it is adding red, hence the Red Rack name. Now, I'm a big proponent for monocolored decks. If you have monocolored decks, your land base is usually 1, cheaper, 2, more consistent, and 3, a lot easier to just build and forget about. In this case, we do have 23 lands. We do have red and black. We have a lot of non-basic lands, and so that does non-bow a little bit with our Blood Moon. We have tried to improve this, and I'll talk about that in just a second. 8 rack effects. We have Shrieking Affliction here and the rack. We've split this out that we have 16 discard spells, plus the 4 top-end discard with Liliana as also a finisher. We have Kroxa as one of our finishers, so it's sitting here nicely with Liliana. And then we have 6 pieces of interaction. You'll notice that a couple things have been pulled out and a couple things have been added just to maybe increase that option of interacting with our opponents that might have creatures. You'll also notice the sideboard is lacking Bantus. So a Bantus was cut and a Waste Knot was caught if you're keeping track. Talking about the lands briefly, we had many more Prismatic Vistas, and instead of doing this where this fetches for a basic land, we swapped 2 out for Polluted Deltas to see if that helps us a little bit selecting red or black mana, since we only have the Singleton's Mountain in here. Plenty of swamps though. Sideboard, we've added an extra Collective Brutality. We were noticing every now and then a small creature would get down or life gain would be necessary. We do take a reasonable amount from our lands and things like Thoughtseizes. Set of Blood Moons, we're going to keep this based on what we're seeing in the meta. Couple Ashioks. K commands, we up by 1, and we've added a little bit of an aggro package here with Rabblemaster. Just going to see how the flare works here in Modern. This is a Red Rack. Let's go to the matches and see how we do in our league today. Okay, Red Rack in Modern. Going to find our first opponent here. Fingers crossed everything works. We've had some difficulty with recording. I think we've sorted all of that out though. If we do run into any issues in any of the future leagues though, I'll try to do either a voiceover or maybe just cut some of the audio out and highlight a few pieces while we play. Hoping to run into a gambit of decks today. I'd rather not play the same deck over and over. But Modern is Modern, and we are a day away from the bans. We'll see what people are playing, what we'll get here. Okay. Opening hand here. We are on the draw. That's excellent for us. No information given to our opponent. I don't know if I like this. We do kind of need more than 1 land, and we have our Singleton tap land at this point. I think we could actually go ahead and mulligan this, although I do like some of the discard here. I'd like to do something on turn 1. Mulligan here. We have a fair amount of lands. I think we'll go ahead and keep this, although we do have a fair amount. Because we do, we can go ahead and pitch one. We have the draw, and hopefully with this draw, we will be in good shape. We're going to go ahead and just lead into all of these nice discard spells and hope it gets us there. Dreadbore is an okay one to pick up. Let's lead with an Inquisition here. Check on our opponent and see what is up. We see Bobble and a Flooded Strand. Could be the Emery deck, and it is. Stealing this Emery away, we've got a snow-covered, Flooded Strand and an Urza's here. Urza's can be taken care of by the Dreadbore, so that's great for us. We'll probably still fire off the Thoughtseize in the hopes that we can snag that Urza. Opponent cracks their Bobble, fetch their Flooded Strand, getting a Hallowed Fountain, plays their Flooded Strand, immediately fetching here, getting a Steam Fence, and following this up with a Goblin Engineer. Okay. Well, luckily we have the Dreadbore to take care of this. We're already getting paid off for adding a few extra interaction pieces. Let's go ahead and do our own fetching here. We'll have double red and double black. And let's just take out this Dreadbore with the Goblin Engineer with the Dreadbore and move on. Looks like, oh, it's a Pentad Prism, okay, and a land. Plenty of lands for our opponent. Let's lead with a Thoughtseize so we can grab that Urza. Alright, they have 2 lands after this. I think, in light of where we're at in the game, I'm going to go ahead and slam both Shrieking Afflictions here and pass the turn. They may not play another spell here, so we're going to look for something like a Wrench Mine. Wrench Mine's going to hopefully not hit like a Bobble. Another Engineer here. I can go put anything in the yard. A discard spell would be nice here as well. One that can hit lands. Liliana works. Actually works really well here. They didn't play either land. We'll go ahead and play Liliana, down tick Liliana, and get rid of this Engineer. That was a reasonable draw. Go ahead and pass the turn. Now they're not going to take any damage yet, but if they were to get anything in their hands down on the battlefield, they'll start taking damage. Let's see here. Probably worth taking a look at the hand, seeing if I can snag something. We get a Tormod's Crypt here. Excellent. Play our land down. Uptick with Liliana. Opponent will discard one of these lands, and we will start doing damage to our opponent. Nice. Looking good here in game number 1 against our Urza opponent. Plays a Bobble here. Plays their land out. Risky. I like it. Let's just target them for fun. We're going to be upticking Liliana. We see nothing. Okay. They're going to crack their Bobble to draw a card here. They're still going to take some Shrieking Affliction damage here because this happens at upkeep. Down to 4 they go. Bobble trigger. And unless they can get rid of Liliana or somehow combo out here, I think we're okay. Plays a land. Seems to be passing back to me. Play our land out and uptick. Should be game, I would think. We'll see, though. Looks like they might get to whir for something. They're whirring for 2. Gets a Thopter here. Okay, they're going to gain a little bit of life here. All right. Gain a little bit. They have just enough here with the polluted, or the Pentad Prism to gain a few pieces here. They're going to lose 6, though. They will have enough to kill Liliana. And then repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They'll need 1 more land or they will die, it looks like to me. Because these each hit for 3. I could be wrong, though. Kills Liliana. Okay. You need to have an untapped land here, or I think you die, or a way to bounce these. Well, we'll play another one out. This will guarantee it for sure. I would think. Even a counter bounce one of these doesn't do it now, because I would get to replay. I'm going to their turn. We'll F6 through this. This should be enough. I guess on the upkeep in response to these, they can do some more. So I will need another discard spell here. It looks like our opponent can get around this wisely here. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to take 9. They're probably not going to be able to cast a spell here. We're going to just F6. Wrench Mine would be good. Raven's Crime would be good. Potentially Thoughtseize or Inquisition, depending on what they have in their hand. And we might, with our extra Shrieking Afflictions, get this. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to come down to this final card here. They're definitely tapping out here to make sure they're high enough. So they go to 2. If I draw a Kroxa, it could be lethal potentially. They hit me. Here we go. Top deck. A land doesn't do it. Our Urza opponent gets us here. Alright, Urza. Close. Close. Our opponent found the line. Didn't have quite enough damage. Bummer. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Okay. Going to game number 2. Kroxa was 1 down. Kroxa would have done it for us. Okay. Ashiok seems okay. I think Leyline of the Void seems okay. What's interesting here is the Wrench Mine's probably not as good. They have a set of Pentab Prisms, Baubles. They have Emery. I'm sure they'll bring in Engineered Explosives and some other cards of that nature. Maybe I need to be bringing in my own K commands here. The Dreadboards and Terminates were fine. I probably can narrow those down a little bit if I'm going to switch them out for K commands to deal some damage to some of these artifacts. I need all my rack effects. I'm wondering if the Fatal Push doesn't make sense and keep Dreadbore here. Might be smarter. Liliana's probably more important than we'd like to admit. Maybe go down 1 Liliana though, perhaps. Let's think about this briefly. Part of me just wants to get rid of this Lava Claw. It's just never getting through. It shrinks us down by a land, but I'd rather hit like the Leyline of the Void instead of this Lava Claw reaches. Dreadbore might be just a touch slow, and I have the Terminates plus the K commands. Is there any argument to bringing in Rabble Masters in the event my opponent would be a little bit slower? Yes and no. Rabble Master doesn't tend to get through this deck very well. The Pentab Prisms make Blood Moon kind of iffy. I think we're good. You can bring in some Collective Brutalities for some removal and preventing some counters. We're going to go ahead and play first here. I'm going to go ahead and keep. I think if I can get ahead of my opponent in some ways, we can work towards getting them to discard their cards. I do know that in many cases, you want to be drawing first. But that's not always the case in my opinion. Let's go ahead and just get a Blood Crypt to start things off and get a Shrieking Affliction out to have it out of the hand, and we'll pass turn. This Ashiok can keep a lot of things in check, keeping the graveyard very small, and also prevents them from worrying or finding other ways to interact with us. Would be nice. A Bauble and Astrolabe played for our opponent. No other follow-ups. Cracks the Bauble to take a look at what we're drawing. We'll draw our Thoughtseize. Seems good. Alright, come here. So we have a Pithing Needle, we have a Teferi, and we have a Thopter. Well, I got the Teferi covered. The Thopter Foundry is a bit of a problem, as is this Pithing Needle, though. If I slam an Ashiok and then they just slam the Pithing Needle, we're not really doing a whole lot. It would prevent searching, so they'd have to naturally draw the Foundry. I have a couple ways to get rid of this Pithing Needle as well. Let's take the Foundry, understanding that our Pithing Needle is looking dangerous here. We're going to tempt them with a Blood Mire. Let's say Mire, maybe they don't want to play... maybe they don't want to play maybe a 2-drop or something here, and they'll just slam the Pithing Needle, try to do it blind. Looks like they're uninterested here. The Pithing Needle on Ashiok also would theoretically just shut it off. Shut off the searching, but also shut off Ashiok and make Liliana a good one. Actually, with that draw, this is looking fantastic. We might even mill ourselves here. setting up for maybe a future Kroxa. Opponent searches. Oh, did they draw a counter here? Deprive. Okay. Okay, well. We'll see if they want to slam that Pithy Needle naming Ashiok now. Astrolabe to draw a card. They picked up an island. Bobble. We'll just F6 through their turn. I don't have much. They place the island back into play. Pithy Needle naming. Liliana the Veil. They still name in the dark Liliana the Veil. Seems okay. We'll go ahead and slam Ashiok here. And we're going to try to get our own Kroxa going here soon. So let's go ahead and mill ourselves. Keep track of this. Go over lands and a Leyline of the Void. This Pithy Needle was played. Bobble's cracked. We know 4 cards, and we don't know the draw or the upkeep Bobble trigger. Although Fountain Shocked in. We're going to get this Teferi more than likely in play. That's fine. If they go up here, instead of bouncing the Shrieking Affliction, I get the Dreadbore on the Teferi. They up, or they go down on their Astrolabe, which seems reasonable. Alright. Let's go... I haven't hit my extra land. I'm wondering if I should just Liliana, or Ashiok them, to get rid of the Bobble. It's probably not as important. Let's slam another Shrieking here. Let's go ahead and Dreadbore Teferi, since I have the extra cards here. Let's go ahead and let's go after them this time. See what we grabbed. We had a Thopter Foundry, an Emery, a Bobble, Flooded Strand. Feels good. I'll take that. Reasonable. I doubt they have a Bolt here, so this Ashiok probably can be used a couple more times. I'm expecting something like Urza here. There's Urza. We have interaction for Urza, albeit we don't have much interaction for this construct. Plays the Astrolabe. Plays that Astrolabe. Well, we might as well use this Ashiok at this point. Emery. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Well. It's interesting here. I could try to hit my own Kroxa, which is probably okay. I don't know if I want to leave an Urza on the battlefield, but I suppose it's no different because the Ashiok, let's see here. This isn't a search, it's just shuffle. And I get to play it. I don't like the idea of Emery getting back Pithy Needle or Engineered Explosives here. Let's go ahead and mill ourselves, see if we can nail Kroxa. We miss, although we passed up a bunch of lands, which is probably okay. We just have to deal with a construct here. I have to kill, like, the Urza. Emery feels terrifying. We might just lose this by them smashing in a few times. A Whir here after killing the Ashiok could be our downfall. Tough game 1, match 1. Game 2, match 2. Match 1, game 2. Kills Ashiok, plays an Urza. Oh boy. They have back-to-back Urzas. We have 2 6/6s here, and I'm sure they'll get to spin the wheel and get another artifact here. It's not too hard. It is a Bobble. So they have lethal. And we draw a Shrieking Affliction. We'll go ahead and concede. Match 1 down. A little bit of a combo deck. Alright, opponent. You got us. You showed us what's up. That's okay, though. We'll head into our match number 2, and we got over the rocky parts. We'll play better here. Match 2 coming up. A rough and rocky start to the beginning of this league. Red Rack in Modern. Let's find our opponent number 2 here and see if we can claw our way back into this league to get into the winner's bracket. As a reminder, always, the deck list is usually in the description. If not, leave a comment. I will make sure it's there. The timestamps are all in the description as well. And as you watch the video, if you're enjoying yourself, liking and subscribing supports the channel. Thank you. We have found our opponent. Let's go. Let's go. No more combos. Come on. Thopter beat us. Urza beat us. Let's find something that dies to rack. Alright. No, I don't want to play first. We're going to go ahead and own up to what we're playing. We're going to own up to what we're playing here. Terminate's not bad. The Raven's Crime's alright. Wrenchmine's not castable. We're going to go ahead and keep this, though. Maybe I will get a little bit lucky on one more land here. Hopefully black and not my basic mountain. There are exactly 2 of the 21 remaining lands that could ruin us. Stepped links. Interesting. Alright. We're going to fetch and shock here. This is a little bit dangerous, but I like the Thoughtseize here to maybe take something that's bothersome in the upcoming turns. Which is... Oof. Okay. They can play the Wild Nicodle. They're going to have land and get to play it in. It's going to grow that quite a bit. We're going to Wild Nicodle to beat. Can I beat this Knight of Reliquary if I wait on it? Just take Wild Nicodle, plan to hopefully Wrenchmine them? That might be a plan here. Alright. We're in on this plan. We need them to play a land, and then we can get 2 of their cards and hope they have just like nothing after that. If they have nothing after that. The other thing we have to be worried about is the step links killing us rather quickly. This matchup might be one to take Thoughtseize out. Luckily, we have the extra removal. We'll see if it plays out, though. One of the matchups I'm wishing I had perhaps a bridge in the sideboard. But we don't. Maybe those Blood Moons should be swapped out for bridges. Maybe. We will have to think about that. Wooded Foothills is played and cracks it. This will make this a 4-5 step links. We're hoping for nothing else. Thankfully, there was nothing else. Okay. So, we did not hit our Wrenchmine. We do have the Terminate. We have a Kroxa as well. The Renegade Rallier is terrifying here in some fashion because it's going to potentially get back the Wild Nicodle. I'm going to pass and leave up Terminate. I think this is our only real line here. Makes double black. Then makes white black. Helixes us. This is very bad for us. We're on turn 3 and we might be just about killed here. Windswept Teeth. Cracks the Windswept Teeth. Luckily with some collective brutalities to gain some life in the future. Step Links goes up. Renegade Rallier is probably coming down here. Renegade Rallier returning Wild Nicodle. This returns it to the battlefield. So we have this Zoo opponent. Zoo having taken Bantus out. It's a pretty easy pickup here. Little Wild Nicodle. This will be 6 damage next turn. I don't know if I can handle 6 damage. But we'll try. I'll not take 4 here. Here we go. It's a rack. That doesn't really do much for us. I don't think I want to show them Kroxa either. They're just going to play the Knight of Reliquary out. I'm going to get hit for 6, then I'll be at 3, and they'll have 3 attackers with easily all 3. We don't have Bantus in the deck, and we don't have our 3rd land. We'll concede. Okay. It just looks like I'm splashing some red for maybe some removal, like Terminate. But we'll see how that goes for us. Alright. Thoughtseize feels like a really bad one. Our opponent is definitely this super aggro deck. I like my Fatal Pushes, my Terminates, I even like my Dreadbores. K-Command's okay, Collective Brutality seems good. And actually Blood Moon is relatively powerful against a deck like this. They need a lot of their multi-dual lands, shock lands, check lands, whatever they're playing. They'll need a lot of those. I'm wondering if the K-Command is maybe a little high. Doing 2 damage probably doesn't do quite enough. So we can probably just go ahead and sideline these. Look for these 6. I've got 4 that I want out. I need 2 more here. Probably just a Liliana plus like maybe a Raven's Crime here. Seems okay. Things that I don't get to control their hand with. And we're going to just look to clear the board just enough, Blood Moon, and then ramp out with, say, Liliana or Kroxa and probably finish this. We'll leave the racks in just in case they want to get low and we can kind of race them with their burn. But it's probably one of the cards I could potentially take out and leave in something like maybe Rabble Master or something else. Would I like to play first? I think I'm going to go ahead and say yes to this because I have the Blood Moon. I'd rather be on the play and trying to get that out relatively quickly. The hand's okay here. We're not going to search for the Blood Moon. It doesn't win us the game. We don't get it out perhaps fast enough. But hopefully here, with our Inquisition, fingers crossed no Leyline, we can take something speedy here. Oh my gosh, it's Renin 6. Renin 6 is just awful for us. So is this God of Destiny. Am I going to have to just take the Renin 6 and let them play a Wild Nacatl? Ugh. I pretty much lose to Renin 6, though. Okay. Stomping Ground. Wild Nacatl. That's to beat. Play a tap land in here. We'll go ahead and Raven's Crime them. I could clear the rest of their hand out this next turn and then play Liliana. That's a possibility here. They ditch another Wild Nacatl, so they have land, Clothis, God of Destiny, and their draw step. Arid Mesa played. Oh no, do they have something on 2, or are they just bumping up Wild Nacatl? Okay. A 3/3 to beat. Unfortunately, Collective Brutality doesn't quite kill it. All that being said, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and pump out the Raven's Crimes here and then look to maybe Liliana down tick. Because I'm not sure I can beat the God of Destiny. So the only card left in their hand is the God of Destiny. We'll go ahead and take care of that. Wild Nacatl is in play, and that is the card to beat here. Liliana can down tick and kill that. We're going to hope they don't get another creature here. Land is fine. Land is excellent, actually. Alright. And it is perfect to pick up another Liliana here. Lily, down tick, and we're off to the races. We need one of our win conditions. We need them to not draw any more creatures. Maybe a little bit of burn. I'll take a little burn. Windswept should maybe go fetch a basic forest here, or a basic plains. They don't. It's probably because I'm not mono, or I'm not just like mono red. They don't expect a Blood Moon. The worst case scenario for us would be they get to put a creature here that I can't kill with Collective Brutality because of the Liliana. I'm at 14. I'm going to go ahead and just plus here and get rid of this Collective Brutality. It'll keep their hand lower. I'm going to hold Urborg on the off chance that I need it for some reason. Right now it doesn't give me that extra red for Kroxa, so it's actually not really doing much for me. It can be something I can discard in the next turn. Liliana is now at 2 as well, so I can down tick to remove things. My opponent just gives up. Path to Exile is kind of an interesting one here to see. Something we need to be aware of. Our hand was looking great. We'd uptick Urborg, we'd have the Terminate, the Kroxa, so we'd uptick Liliana, get to play this land. It's looking good. Zoo, zoo, zoo. All right, so we have just a lot of creatures to kill. That's what it's going to be. We're going to be on the probably draw. Let's switch a Blood Moon out for a Liliana as a removal spell more than anything. Otherwise, I think we're good. Collective Brutality may not really hit the creatures, but we don't have anything stronger than 2 damage. So we'll just have to hope that it works. I deeply hate this hand. I hate it because the Wrench Mine's really nice. Double Shrieking Affliction. My opponent's playing first here. They've kept 7 cards. Makes me think that I need some sort of interaction here instead of just trying to Wrench Mine them and Double Shrieking Affliction. It could pay off if they jam out all their cards, but I don't get that gut feeling it's going to. I'm going to go and mulligan. This hand's a heck of a lot better. I can go ahead and keep this. We're going to just get rid of the Blood Crypt because it actually hurts me. Gives me all of these options to interact with my opponents. Can slam out the Shrieking Affliction on 1. Interesting. Sacred Foundry tapped here. Looks like we're going to be running into possibly Renin 6. Luckily, I have this Dreadbore. I'm thinking it's going to be a Renin 6. We'll see. Fetch land Renin 6. Go for it. It's just a Temple Garden. And a Plated Geopede. Okay, he's a 1/1. Whenever land enters, he gets bigger. So this is actually a perfect opportunity for us to use our Collective Brutality. I'm going to probably spin that off. I don't know if I really want to, but I could attack the hand. If I do attack the hand, I can probably just keep the Lava Claw Reaches. I can then Dreadbore or Wrench Mine next turn. If I happen to get Liliana, it's great, but I'd rather just do 2 modes here. Let's look at their hand. Let's kill this thing. And let's ditch a Bloodstained Mire and keep all of our interaction here. We have this Shrieking Affliction, so the interaction feels like the best thing. Alright, a Wild Nacatl, a Helix, and a Lightning Bolt. Well, we'll go ahead and take the Helix. It gains them life. We've removed their creature, and they have just a 1 creature and a Bolt, so that's good for us. We could Dreadbore the creature if we'd like to. Might Wrench Mine them, who knows. Windswept and Wild Nacatls played. We have a Lightning Bolt, Arid Mesa, and Unknown card. Okay. Do I want to kill Wild Nacatl? I don't think I need to. Let's go ahead and Wrench Mine my opponent. Let's see what they would like to keep. They're probably not going to keep the Arid Mesa. Perhaps this Lightning Bolt, but if not the Lightning Bolt, then whatever great card they have. They have a great card. Go ahead and put Lava Claw in and pass the turn. Shrieking Affliction does fire off this turn. 15. Can be hit for 3. If they would care to race us, we might double Raven's Crime them. We'll see, though. Wild Nacatl. Alright. We can kill Wild Nacatl. Actually. Let's Raven's Crime first. Clear the hand, just in case. This is a Bloodbraid Elf. Alright. And we can now Dreadbore one of the Wild Nacatls. This will slow down their clock. We're going to pass with Prismatic Vista in hand in case I need to use it for this Shrieking Affliction. Wild Nacatl's going to swing in here, and they have 1 card in hand. It is the Geopede. Alright. Well, a Geopede here. Luckily, I have a Liliana. We will Liliana downtick to clear one of these creatures, thankfully. We're racing. It's close, though. We need another rack effect. Another rack effect and getting to fire off the Raven's Crime feels like a good thing. Also, if they don't kill Liliana here, Liliana continues to uptick. So they play their land out. They go ahead and swing in here. At this point, they have to swing at me. If they swing at Shrieking Affliction, I think they're going to lose this game. Or sorry, if they swing at Liliana, I think they're going to lose. They do swing. Let's go ahead and boot up our Lava Claw. Get in for an extra 2 damage here. This extra 2 plus this fetch here could matter. 2 damage in, pass turn. Extra 3 damage here off the Shrieking Affliction. Opponents have 4. Horizon Canopy is cycled. Looking for something to prevent them from losing here. Something to kill this Shrieking Affliction. And they don't get it. We got there. Little zoo action here in Modern against the Red Rack. Didn't need the Bantus. Didn't need the bridges. Keep that in mind. Got the win. Let's go. Match number 3 coming up right after this. Red Rack in Modern getting our footing here as we approach match number 3. Found our opponent immediately. Let's go right into the game. No need to wait. Alright. Luckily we don't have to pick whether we go first or not. I like that. I like this hand. This is an excellent hand. 2 removal spells. 2 nice discard spells. And a Wrench Mine. I'm classifying Kroxa as a discard spell. Uh-oh. Astrolabe passes the turn. Liliana's not a bad draw. Let's see if it is the Emery Urza deck. I hope it's not. Oh my gosh. It's it's not. Holy crap. Okay. We have a Jace, Supreme Verdict, and a Teferi. Well, I'll go ahead and get rid of the Jace because it can be cast earlier. I don't care about the Supreme Verdict on my Kroxa because I can recur my Kroxa. Terminate's looking weak here, but the Dreadboard's looking hot and good. Misty Rainforest. Probably just going to slam this Wrench Mine. I don't think there's any reason to wait here. I don't want them to be picking up a counterspell. We'll hope they didn't grab any artifacts. I doubt it, though. They would have slammed the Astrolabe, I think. 2 cards are getting discarded. Supreme and Winds of Abandon was their draw. Pass turn. If I can, I'm going to slam the Liliana ASAP and just basically get rid of this Terminate. The Dreadboard's going to take us to victory, I think. They also got rid of Winds, which is nice if we were to ever get Kroxa into play. Flooded Strand played for our opponent and passes the turn. Now, I do draw a Blackcliff Cleaves. What I could do here is I could Inquisition, seeing if there is a counterspell, hoping to hit something. Follow that by a Kroxa. I could either do that or I can slam Liliana and hope the Liliana is good. Now, if they have a counterspell, I'm getting the counterspell with the Inquisition or I'm getting it with the Liliana. I like the idea of Kroxa now with our opponent having pitched both of their removal spells. I'm thinking Liliana and then follow with Kroxa Inquisition is fine. And we'll uptick and get rid of a Terminate, hopefully. Again, if they have a counterspell, that's fine. We don't get our Liliana out, but it gets it out of the way for Kroxa in 2 or 3 turns, hopefully. If this does stick, I think my opponent's going to have a lot of trouble with it. And we might see this Teferi go away. We're going to get rid of the... We'll get rid of the Terminate because I have the Dreadbore for a removal spell on a creature, and I'd rather keep the Dreadbore in case they get something like a small Teferi or another Planeswalker. Was contemplating maybe keeping the Terminate and getting rid of the Inquisition. Cryptic Command has been pitched. Snow-Covered Island and Teferi are in our opponent's hand. We may not need this Dreadboard in the future. Inquisition's probably going to be pitched to Liliana. Hopefully getting that next land. Opponent plays a land into play. They have Teferi and an Unknown. Let's go ahead and uptick for starters. Get rid of our Inquisition here. They'll probably get rid of a Spell Snare. That's a bummer. Kroxa's going to get rid of that last creature. Sorry, Planeswalker. It does disappear. We'll go ahead and play our land and pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. An uptick of Liliana or this fetch land will get us enough for Kroxa here. Our opponent plays a Misty Rainforest into play, meaning Kroxa is clear and ready to blast off. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kroxas here. We're going to make them do the discard. We're going to get to start attacking here, which is really nice. I'm going to just uptick with Liliana, because then I can separate their permanents. That way we can maybe Stone Rain 2 lands if we'd like. We'll see if that is what we need to be doing. They got to deal with Kroxa at some point. Misty is placed. We're going to get a Winds of Abandon here. So Winds of Abandon off that will be pretty nice. They get to exile Kroxa. We do get a land out of this. I suppose that's nice. Well played. Well played, opponent. Alright, an Inquisition here. What do we think? Are they going to Cryptic Bounce Liliana? They might. I don't think there's a reason to separate these at all. I think we just go up here and force them to do something like that. Bounce this, draw a card perhaps. I play Liliana, I uptick, and we're just back into this. Oh, sorry, this wasn't a Misty. Silly Misty. Alright. Let's go ahead and separate their permanents because I like the Lava Claw as an option here. They're going to float all this mana here. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm going to give them... I'm not sure what I want to give them here. I don't care about the Astrolabe so much. Let's see here. The island versus the colored mana here. They might have Euro. If I do this, this isn't too bad. They keep their colored mana and have Astrolabe, or they have 3 islands. I'm okay with this split. Especially since I'm about to play a Lava Claw Reaches, and I have a Dreadbore in case they, you know, get a creature or a Planeswalker here. It appears we're against some sort of Bant control. I believe Bant control did well in the challenge this past Saturday, so that might be what we're seeing here. Always reasonable when you're playing online to check the meta and see what's going on. There's plenty of people using rental services, and so they'll say, hey, I like those top 8 decks. Let's go play them. Now, we haven't played anything for this turn. I don't know what my opponent's going to do with their mana here. We're going to go and skip to main phase 2 here. They do decide to keep as many lands as they possibly can. And they do draw some cards. Nice. Play this into play and pass turn. Cool. Alright, so my opponent's drawing a few cards here. That's good for them. But they have no colored mana. So we're going to hope that that does something for us here. And they skip straight to our turn. Hopefully not another Archmage Charm. That'd be kind of rough. All right, up we go. We can definitely get rid of this mountain. Not a problem here. I'm going to go ahead and punch in with the Lava Claw. They got rid of a path because they can't use it. No reason to hold back with Lava Claw here. I'm just going to put all the mana I can into it. This Dreadbore is sorcery speed. Don't need it on their turn. Looks like my opponent was reading a few things here with this Lava Claw. Oops. Need to use the other side. What's nice about Lava Claw is we can just pump it in. We don't have to pump, then recast, or pump, reactivate, pump, reactivate. It's kind of nice. Oh. Field of Ruin's a really good one. They don't go after Lava Claw. Kind of interesting. Why wouldn't you go after Lava Claw? Interesting. I'm confused. Well, we'll keep going up with Liliana. Okay. Little Ice Fang here. They draw a card. We discard a card. I'm kind of tempted to just kill this. Kill this and swing in. Keeps our Liliana doing Liliana things. We can boot up a Lava Claw. We get in for 2. Maybe that's a little hasty, but they don't have white, and most of their Planeswalkers look like they're going to be in white. Teferi. There's Jace. I think if they're slamming Jace, though, and I get to swing in for free with Lava Claw, we're in great shape. Misty. unknown card. Let's go ahead and uptick again. Fatal Push is an excellent card here. If they flashed anything in, we'd be looking good. Lava Claw, doing Lava Claw things. Let's go ahead and beef it up a little bit here and swing in. So if they want their white mana, they got to fetch for that. Otherwise, they could get a Sanctuary and go find, you know, another spell here if they'd like to remove Lava Claw. We'll see what their choice is here. Do they want the guarantee to prevent this or not? All right, they do decide an Archmage Charm here. Now this is interesting because it'll be their turn. I can uptick with Liliana. So they do Archmage Charm, maybe trying to find Wild, Ice Fang Coatl, not Wild Nacatl, Ice Fang Coatl. Maybe block here. We would have drawn a Liliana. I couldn't get around where I uptick and then downtick, unfortunately. But hey, Rack was coming. We're almost there. All right, Rabble Master is why I brought him in. Collective Brutality can probably hit quite a few things as well. I don't think I want any Blood Moons here. All right, so a couple Fatal Pushes. Even though we did see the Ice Fang Coatls, I think I want those. I think we're still on game plan number 1 for the most part, with a little bit of an aggro package as well. I'm thinking I'm going to shave one Kroxa. They do have, well, thought process is they have Winds of Abandon. They probably will have Path, that we saw that. Maybe it's just like, don't let them pick because they're going to usually have a lot of cards. So Raven's Crime comes out, Blackmail's maybe not as good. And that brings us to 3 Rabble Masters, maybe just 2 Collective Brutalities. Don't try to bring this extra one in because it's just extra. Try to hit Wrench Mines, Liliana's really quick. Collective Brutalities to clear the way. Kroxa's to put pressure on, and then Rack and Shrieking Affliction. I don't see anything wrong with this. In this case, I'm going to keep the Lava Claw Reaches in because we don't have to worry about a very aggro deck. Leyline of the Void doesn't make sense here. I really think this extra Collective Brutality could have a home here. Let's take one Terminate out, even though I saw some creatures, and maybe we're going to see something like Stoneforge Mystic. Fingers crossed we don't. One Terminate could be swapped with a K command probably. Most of the stuff we saw we could kill that was smaller. Fatal Push would be fine against a Colonnade. Alright, what's this hand doing for us? Rabble Master, Inquisition, Beatdown Face, Shrieking Affliction, Dreadbore, something out of the way. Mulligan to 6 by our opponent? Sure. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Bant here. Opponent mulls to 5. Hopefully this Inquisition can clear the way, and we'll go from there. Here's our Singleton Prismatic Vista, by the way, instead of our Polluted Deltas. Is it harming us here? Not entirely, although if I were to say get a Liliana without this Prismatic Vista doing anything, we'd be looking pretty bad. My opponent did decide to play on turn 1 as well, which is it's good for us. Very good for us. Gets to see if we hit this land or not. We do. We do. So we can easily go fetch some basics here. Maybe get around a lot of things. All right, we take the Archmage Charm. Opponent's like, no. I'll go ahead and reveal the hand just so they're aware of what we had. We had the aggro package. We got them down. We get the win. Match 3 in the books. Not bad. Opponent was done. They're fed up. Match 4. Coming up right after this. From defeat, we begin our trek on winning Red Rack in Modern. Currently 2-1 in our league. 2 matches to go. This is match number 4. Let us find our opponent. And let's play some Magic. We ran into a little bit of what appeared to be one of those top 8 challenge decks. We've run into a little bit of combo, a little bit of aggro, a little bit of everything. Let's find a mid-range opponent. That'll round us off nicely. Match 4. Let's go. And our opponent has been found. Hopefully I do not have to pick. Oh, I have to pick. Oh, opponent, I didn't mean to hit. No, I'm so sorry. All right. 2 rack effects, a little more than I like in the opener. Terminate and the Thoughtseize. My opponent's probably wondering why I didn't take the draw. Or, sorry, why I didn't take the play. I took the draw. We're going to keep ours. They mulligan to 6. That's good for us. Closer to 0, the better. Well, hopefully not take too much damage here with Thoughtseizes and Bloodstained Mires, so on and so forth. It appears it's this deck again. Well, we'll see how this plays out for us. Luckily, I do have the Terminate. Opponent's going to check on what we're drawing. It's a Liliana they get to see. Nice. All right. Swamp Thoughtseize here. Let's check out what our opponent's doing. It is all of what we've said. So we have an Archmage Charm, we have an Urza, we have a Sword of the Meek. I think I just take the Charm, and let's see if they can beat it. Let's see if they can beat us. We do have a Terminate for Urza, we have a Liliana for the token, we have double rack. It's looking okay. Last time we fought this one, we didn't do so well. That was the land they drew, or at least one of them. Let's shock in, Shrieking Affliction, rack. Go ahead. Unlikely for them to just be able to slam Urza here, unless they're playing Simeon's Spirit Guide. They're going to want to play a land into play so they can get this Urza down at some point. They do play a land. They might have Archmage Charm here. We will see. Wrench Mine sucks. It kind of sucks because of the Liliana. Now, I didn't fetch a non-basic here because I'm going to probably pitch this land, and then I'm going to try to set up for this Wrench Mine and maybe some Terminates. We don't need the 4th land for Kroxa yet. We're trying to get them under the rack and the Affliction here. There goes the Sword of Meek. That's good for us. We might be just Wrench Mining. We might be doing a Terminate and Downtick with Liliana this turn. We'll see how much they play out, because this would be a lot of damage. All right, Mystic Sanctuary's played. They pick up the Archmage Charm. Play Urza's out. Construct comes back with the sword. Pretty good, pretty good. Luckily for us, we get to Terminate and Wrench Mine if I draw land. We do. Things are looking fantastic. Make them sacrifice for starters. Terminate. Wrench Mine. Clear the hand. They get an Archmage Charm here off the top of the deck. We will make that discard, or they'll have to cycle it, essentially. Or double cycle if you want, drawing 2. Rack effects here. Doing plenty of damage here. Luckily for us, the rack effects will hit one more time here. We're hoping for essentially a discard spell. We do get a Wrench Mine. Unfortunately, I can't do this in response. Let's go ahead and Wrench Mine my opponent. This will essentially force the counter. If they decide to draw, then we get it. So they decided to draw 2, and then maybe they're going to discard an artifact, but we'll grab it with Liliana. It's pretty much all the same result here. Rack effects go off again. Here we go. They are looking for another color and... Oh, there's our other color. And a Thopter Foundry. Fingers crossed they don't find it. We'll start falling behind if they do. And we got there. Nice. All right. We can beat this deck. We can do it. Let's do it. All right. Last time we brought in Ashiok. We brought in Leyline of the Void. I believe I brought in some K commands. Things we took away were 2 Wrench Mines because they have Bauble and Astrolabe. I think this is still okay. They probably will bring in Engineered Explosives as well, as that is something they use for Emery. They have Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek. So Wrench Mine probably in general should just... Maybe we should 4 of out. We don't know if they're playing the Goblin Engineer. We didn't really see anything that indicates that yet. I think I can go ahead and safely take out a Lava Claw Reaches. I'm really upset when I draw this tapped, and it's only really good in the matchups of like Control, where we're needing a little more punch. Rabble Master could be fast enough, although I'm not inclined to bring it in. I think we need to stick with our rack plan, but we do have a game here to give, so maybe we'll get lucky with that. I think it's going to be strictly K-Command, Leyline, and Ashiok, Wrench Mines, Lava Claw, and +1 card out. In this case, probably a Fatal Push. I wonder if I should get rid of the other Fatal Push, or if I keep these in for the Constructs. Maybe I keep these in and ditch like just an Inquisition or even a Raven's Crime. Let's ditch a Raven's Crime and let's leave the interaction in. I'm not going to bring in the fast-paced Rabble Masters here, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we're going to keep this. We have the Leyline of the Void, which is nice. We don't have too much else going for us at the moment for discard. However, interaction-wise, we're looking fantastic. Opponent fetches with Flooded Strand, probably going to be playing an Astrolabe. Oh. Inquisitions us. Alright, they're going to take Terminator, Shrieking Affliction. No real reason to take the Kroxa, in my opinion. If they do, okay. Just eat my own words here. I don't think that's the play at all. I think they take the Liliana, Shrieking, Terminate. I don't know why you would bin something that I can get back in the future. Anyway. They know about this card because of the Bobble. We're going to go in Shrieking Affliction here and just pass the turn. Looking great to get our Liliana on turn 3, currently. Looking great to take care of anything here on turn 2, 3, or 4 with the Terminate. There's a Sword of the Meek. Maybe they just have the combo. It'll be a shame if they do. Polluted Delta, pass the turn. I don't want to give them any more black mana than I have to immediately. Got a nice Terminate here. We might be seeing an Archmage Charm from our opponent. Perhaps I should wait on trying to cast Liliana. It's tough to say. Maybe I'll top deck another Liliana. Who knows? Raven's Crime's kind of cute. I'm going to do Raven's Crime over, say, the Liliana. Leaves my Terminate open at the moment. Makes them discard a Singleton card. They get rid of a Sword of the Meek. No problems there. Maybe I can get a second Leyline of the Void down. It's not crazy, but maybe. To pick up another land here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and fire off this land. Keep subtracting what cards they have in their hand here. Hopefully they don't have a Cryptic can counterbalance the Leyline. Doesn't appear they do. Mystic Sanctuary is binned here. Looks like we will be passing the turn back. Leyline of the Void looks like it's just stronger than Blood Moon in this matchup. Although Blood Moon would stop the Mystic Sanctuary, it's not going to stop all this interaction with the swords and so on and so forth. Ashiok looks like a great card to go ahead and bait out a counterspell with. And I think I'm just going to go after them, see what else I can tag out of their deck here. Maybe I can get a couple win conditions. Hero's Downfall. Okay. We go over Urza, Archmage Charm, and Bobble. Scalding Tarn as well. Alright, so one Hero's Downfall out of the deck. What's funny is this Urborg's actually helping this Flooded Strand a little bit. Ooh. Alright, let's go ahead and lead with a Thoughtseize here. I don't have another land to play and put Liliana in, but I like the Thoughtseize here. Gives me an opportunity to check the hand for counter spells. Counter and draw with Cryptic. Okay. Keep in mind, we do have Kroxa in the bin. We could go ahead and get that back once I get another land here. Polluted Delta for our opponent. 3 cards in their hand. No Thoughtseize. I'm going to hold this turn. Hold up Terminate. I'm going to hold up the Thoughtseize and Liliana for the next turn. Land, Thoughtseize, Liliana feels good. My opponent's clearly just trying to stay above Shrieking Affliction and not trying to play too quickly here. As long as they don't play too quickly, I'm okay with that. Land is good here. Alright, let's check. I'd like to get Liliana over Kroxa here. It's 4 lands. Not ideal for our opponent. Means the pathways are clear here. Liliana, uptick easy. Get rid of the ley line. Pass the turn. We are in the clear. Watery Grave. Go ahead, opponent. They need a miracle here. And a big one at that. We're going to try to keep this Terminate as long as possible. Ooh. Vampire Hex Mage, huh? Nifty. Okay. We could just uptick Liliana here because I have the Kroxa. This was clearly the draw. Just get them closer to the Shrieking Affliction. I like this, and then if they need to get rid of Liliana, they've got to sacrifice their Vampire. We're going to have a blocker here. Now, they could remove our blocker, but I like this play because it's going to just put everything on the onus of getting rid of Liliana and the Kroxa. Getting rid of both of these is going to be, I think, a little bit harder for our opponent. We're going to leave Raven's Crime in the bin for the future. Kroxa triggers here. Makes them discard. They'll discard a Mystic Sanctuary. Take some damage. And we'll pass turn. Shrieking Affliction will trigger. Looking good. Looking good. Sacrifices. Kills off Liliana. Shrieking Affliction triggers. Nice. Any land draw is here is really good. I have the Raven's Crime. I have Kroxa attacking. I have a Terminate to clear the board. Looking A-okay. Plays the land, has 1 card in hand. It's an Urza. They have 5 mana here. They can spin the wheel with Urza. They'll take damage from Shrieking. I can terminate Urza here. I can then swing with Kroxa and race this construct. No big whammy right here, please. No big whammy. They can just pay with Herborg. A Cryptic can be played until end of turn. Luckily, they didn't spin that on my turn when I attempt to terminate here. Do they want to bounce Kroxa? It's not a bad idea. They do. Wow. We are going to go ahead and play Kroxa. Clear the last card out of the hand. See if it does any damage. It does not. We will easily terminate Urza here. And we will pass the turn. We have Kroxa ready to play again. Or this Liliana. Shrieking Affliction is going to go off for this turn and next turn. Down to 8. What do you got? Looks like very little to no follow-up here. Swings in for 3. I like this Inquisition. It lets me check the hand for this Liliana. Let's go ahead and Inquisition. Alright, it's just a land. In that case, we can easily Liliana here. I believe I can just go ahead and kill off this creature. They have a land in hand. But I can then uptick. They're going to keep whatever. I get to Kroxa. And from here, I think we're in good shape. Not to mention our Shrieking Affliction will continue to do damage over the course of these turns. Got beat by it earlier. We beat it this time. Red Rack taking a W. We got 1 match left to go. 5th match coming up. From a little stumble, can we sweep it out? Find out. Next match coming up. Match number 5. Stumbled at the beginning, but winning out so far. Currently sitting 3-1. Let's see if we can grab that 4-1 with Kroxa Red Rack here in Modern. We've actually, luckily, got to play against the same deck that we lost to at the very beginning, and then we won. So, fluke or no fluke, we can definitely beat the deck. Just need the right luck on our side. Found our opponent. Let's go ahead and play some Magic here in Modern. Yes, I don't have to pick. I hate picking with this deck. I don't want to give any information out if I can avoid it. This hand looks fantastic. We have Dreadbore and Terminate, the Thoughtseize. I would like another discard spell, but it's really good to see that I have a bunch of lands here. I'm gonna go ahead and keep and see how we go. See what we're playing against. Uh-oh. The Mirror, perhaps? I don't think it'll be the Mirror. This is probably like a Jund or green-black or something up blue-black. Takes our Thoughtseize, so we'll have no idea what they're doing. Got a lot of Terminates. Hopefully they matter. If they don't, this game's going to really hurt. Don't be Rack, please. I didn't have to pick, and they picked to go first. I'm thinking it's going to be a creature-based deck. Once again, I'm getting rewarded for a little more removal in the main instead of having it in the sideboard, specifically the Terminates. Burning Catacombs Cracks here. I'm going to probably go see an Overgrown or a Stomping Ground. Stomping Ground it is. Jund is our opponent. Uh-oh. Kroxa. In this case, I'm probably just going to ditch a Terminate here. We don't take any damage. I'd rather get my own Liliana in. They know about the Terminate. They don't know about the second Terminate. Might catch them off a little bit here. Kroxa is a little bit of annoyance, but I think we might be the better Kroxa deck. We'll find out here as this game continues. Alright, this is an easy Terminate here. Looks like my opponent has nothing else to do. We're sort of going to be fueling Kroxa here, I think. Let's go ahead and shock in here just so I have all the mana. We're going to use Liliana. We're going to uptick. We're going to get rid of Polluted Delta. Feels a little bit off to be doing this, but I think with a Dreadbore and a Wrenchmine plus the Liliana downtick, we're looking hot. Just now need to find an Affliction or a Rack. Inquisitions me. At least it's not a creature. Takes my Wrenchmine. No third land. Oh boy. Alright, we're going to play the Shrieking Affliction down. We're going to go up with Liliana. We'll get rid of our Dreadbore. They'll get rid of a card. They're behind on lands, and any creature that is played I can definitely get rid of. As soon as they play a land here, Shrieking Affliction will be online. We're ahead by a little bit of life. Maybe that little bit will matter here. It's a Tarmogoyf. It's a big boy. Inquisition's not bad to see here. Maybe I can snag something here. Another Kroxa and a Seasoned Pyromancer. Well, I don't want to deal with a Seasoned Pyromancer. You can have a Kroxa, I think. And we will just get rid of Tarmogoyf. One Kroxa to beat. We're going to hope they run into no bolts. Going up with Liliana doesn't really make much sense here, though. And the Shrieking Affliction is now online. Maybe we'll get to race our opponent. If they do draw the bolt, they've got to bolt it now before I get the uptick here. Which is good for us. Thoughtseize. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize here before this Liliana uptick. We can take either of these. We'll take the Kroxa. We'll uptick for the Inquisition and pass the turn. Opponent has no cards in hand. 2 lands. A little unfortunate for our Jund opponent only to be on 2 lands. But not going to worry about it. We're going to do 3 here. It's going to put them to 9. We can then get rid of the card in hand, or if it's land, they probably want to be playing it. Affliction should have this game. We got game number 1 of match number 5. A locked out here. Using Red Rack. Okay. So, they have Kroxa. What's interesting is I kind of want the Leyline of the Void. This will shrink a Goyf a little bit. Obviously, I'm going to be putting in sorceries and instants for the most part, occasional creature and occasional lands. It will be a rather large Goyf. Otherwise, I don't like much else other than maybe a Blood Moon or two. Not too many of these, though. I almost just want to spike the Blood Moon if I get the chance. Wrench Mine, Liliana, great. Dreadbore, Terminate, great. Fatal Push, fantastic. I can almost take like just a pair of racks out here for like a Leyline and Blood Moon. Maybe. If we were to do this, I could probably take out one Raven's Crime as well and bring in an extra Blood Moon. And then if I want, maybe one Wrench Mine, maybe not. Maybe a Shrieking Affliction, probably not. Perhaps because I'll probably be on the draw, just an Inquisition and bring the other Leyline in. If I can shut off their Kroxa, that's really good for us, because recurring that on an empty board state with 4 is going to be a real problem for me. Blood Moon can also sort of shut that down, though. You know what? Let's go heavier on the Blood Moons here. Let's keep a Inquisition still and not worry about the Leyline of the Void. 2 racks and a Raven's Crime out. Blood Moon's in. It is Jund. I don't expect them to fetch to avoid a Blood Moon. And so perhaps if we were to not have it in the opener, but maybe a draw or 2 in, we'll go ahead and snag a quick victory from them. Perhaps. Maybe they don't have Thoughtseize or Inquisition. Oh, if they don't have Thoughtseize or Inquisition first, and then I get to Inquisition first, oh, we're going to do it. This is a bad idea. Ooh. Ooh. Gosh, I can't. I'm going to play Urborg here. I'm going to play Urborg to not indicate that Blood Moon could potentially be in my hand. We're going to Inquisition and try to take something really, really big from them that would wreck us here. We have a Smallpox, a Kroxa, we have an Ancient Grud, a Bone Crusher Giant. I'm tempted to just take the Tarmogoyf here. It's really difficult for us to beat. I can Inquisition them again. If they want to Smallpox is fine. I'll ditch a Kroxa. I don't care about the Smallpox. I think I care most about this Tarmogoyf. I don't have removal. If I can get them to crack this for something like a Stomping Ground right now because I have the Urborg, that'll be great. They do have a Swamp here, so we'll have to be managing that. We'll see if they want to Smallpox me. They decide just Kroxa is the plan here. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of my own Kroxa. Maybe I can Wrench Mine them here. If I Wrench Mine them, what are we looking at here? Smallpox, Ancient Grudge. They can pitch Ancient Grudge here and they'd pitch something else. Maybe I'm supposed to just Inquisition and then Shrieking Affliction here. Hope they don't fire off the Smallpox because they're trying to get enough cards here. Then Blood Moon them. Then I'm away from a Wrench Mine. How bad is this Bone Crusher Giant gonna be? I feel like it's gonna be bad. Let's Inquisition. I'm gonna steal this Bone Crusher, I think. Yeah, let's steal the Bone Crusher here. Hope they whiff on a land. And if they whiff on a land here, maybe we'll be in good shape. Here, we're gonna just play a Shrieking Affliction down, pass the turn. If they happen to smallpox me, I can smallpox the Bloodstained Mire here and then keep the Wrench Mine. Life from Loam. Okay. Okay. The Blood Moon does not shut off the potential of Liliana here. But it might be just everything I've got to try here. I could also Wrench Mine them with the intention that they'll play something, then I could potentially play Blood Moon behind it. Let's play Lava Claw and Wrench Mine here. The idea is that they're going to clear their hand except for perhaps Liliana. They're going to slam Liliana, and then they're going to try to beat us from there. I'm going to get rid of the Mountain and hope that our Shrieking Affliction will be enough here. Ancient and all gone. Shrieking Affliction fires off. We got to just beat a Liliana. We can do that, right? We can do that. See if they get a basic. They do get a basic. That's really strange. Maybe they're looking that if they hit one more land here, they can Kroxa. They decide to Life from the Loam. Interesting. They're choosing Life from the Loam here. Getting back a Verdant Catacombs and the Garens. This is so that they don't get this Shrieking Affliction doing stuff to them. They play the Garens out, so they won't have green mana anymore for Life from the Loam. We hit our Swamp. That's an excellent card to see here. Alright. Well, they are able to play their Liliana down. We're going to have to beat a Liliana, but we have 2 Dreadboards in the deck. Let's see if we can do it. Lucky for us, they can't keep Life from the Loaming. That being said, they do have Kroxa mana. We have Kroxa mana, though, too. 4. I don't have 5 cards, though, in the bin, so there is that problem. But look, we'll get to discard. Problem is that they can then discard right after us with a Liliana. Or down tick and kill our Kroxa with the Liliana. We're in pretty bad shape here. This is a not bad thing, though. Let's go ahead and get rid of their Kroxa. Alright, Kroxa versus Kroxa Wars here. And if they uptick their Liliana, we get to uptick ours and then play our own Kroxa here. This is going to get interesting. Life from the Loam's back. Interesting to dredge that back. I guess they're trying to dredge to get Kroxa back online ASAP. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. I'm going to luckily get to uptick Liliana, assuming no Bolt here. Doing that plus the Kroxa will be okay. Let's see what they do. Their own Liliana. They can uptick again and get rid of their own Life from the Loam. This is an interesting spin on Jund. I haven't seen this yet. Now I'm wishing that I had the Leyline of the Void in. Would have been better. They decide not to uptick here. Okay, so they have Kroxa as an option here. One, two, three, 4. I guess I uptick here and then play my own Kroxa. And then plan to Liliana downtick. Make them discard a few things here. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to leave our Raven's Crime. Raven's Crime plus Liliana might do something. We're going to make them discard here, and Shrieking Affliction will be back online for 1 turn. They get rid of the Life from the Loam again. That'll fuel Kroxa some more. They do take some damage from Shrieking Affliction. They did not take any damage from Kroxa from the Life from the Loam. Liliana could downtick here, making me sacrifice, which is fine and expected. They're going to slam their own Kroxa here. This is really good for them because they're avoiding the Shrieking Affliction doing damage. Liliana off the top would be really good here. Liliana uptick, or sorry, downtick and uptick. Bonus rack is interesting. When they attack, this is going to be a problem. They're going to dredge this back as well. I feel silly having a down tick here, but if I don't, they're just gonna destroy us. I need a bridge. We talked about this earlier. I need a bridge again. Their Liliana is just an uptick faster than ours. Uptick ahead of ours, rather. Not ideal for our board state as it is right now. Alright, so we just slam rack down past turn. If I top deck a land, I can at least use it with Raven's Crime. And it will fuel our Kroxa in the future. They decide to dredge with Life from the Loam here. They can uptick with Liliana and replay it into the yard. I don't get to discard, unfortunately. So they're getting ready to fuel Kroxa again here. Wrench Mine's not a bad one here. Wrench Mine clear the hand, Rack and Affliction. Looking good. Does fuel the hand in such a way that they can go ahead and slam Kroxa now. Can we beat a singleton Kroxa though? We do quite a bit of damage putting them to 5. They need a way to kill one of these. They dredge Life from the Loam. Doesn't that mean they're dead? Pretty sure that might mean they're dead, guys. I don't know if they figured that out yet. They're playing Kroxa. Maybe they'll have a different way out of this? Life from the Loam in hand. Very confused. I'm just going to Raven's Crime here to clear this. I know it puts it back in the hand, but it keeps everything on track. Even so, having the Life from the Loam there, I don't think it wins. Anyway, 4-1 with Rock. Kroxa, Red Rack. Looking good. Let's take a quick look at that last game. So if they have this in hand, this is going to do 3. That's going to put them to 2. And then this is 3 minus the number of cards in hand, which is 2. 5? You do the math. You let me know. Kroxa Red Rack, getting 4-1. We'll see you in the conclusion. Thank you for watching. Kroxa Red Rack, little 4-1 here, off to a good start. Stumbling at the very beginning, all good though. Here's the deck list. The deck list can be found below. And if you've enjoyed the league so far, or just the deck list in general, and would like to maybe see this in the future, comment, like, and subscribe. Boy, oh boy, it's an interesting list. This list has been adjusted very slightly for an aggro. In this league alone, it would have been probably better to have, say, pair of bridges. Blood Moon did excellent work when we finally did get it working there in the final match. I don't know if we really need 3 of them. I didn't see any Amulet though, and if tomorrow Amulet gets a ban, Blood Moon, tick one out, bring something else in. Collective Brutalities were nice. They did purpose, I think, once or twice during the entire matches and the leagues. Red Rack, Kroxa, again, proves to be excellent. Great beater. Great way to approach the game. If your opponent's fighting the Kroxa with rips or with something like Path or something else, you're just main plan. Rack them, Shrieking Affliction, all the way. Liliana's still a house. I like that we brought in an extra pair of Terminates from the sideboard, clearing some of the sideboard up. And the Bantus, if we were to run into more humans or wider strategies, bring them back. But otherwise, I think the 6 spot removals plus the 4 edict effects have been fine. Blackmail's in here. Waste Knot's no longer in here. Play your Waste Knot at F&M and enjoy yourself. Red Rack doing things. I like the list. I think you guys do too. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching on the stream. And we will see you in a future video. Keep an eye out. Video about our giveaways coming soon. Take care, guys.